Hi everybody, it's me again. I wanted to share an exercise with you guys that you can use anytime you find yourself wanting to numb out in some way. So, a lot of times if we've had a busy day or we're really stressed out, or even sometimes if we're just bored or not knowing what to do with ourselves, we tend to try to find something to distract ourselves from our feelings, from our negative thoughts, from, whatever's coming up, and even from boredom. So we might reach for food, we might start walking around the kitchen, reaching into the fridge or the cupboards, and even though we're not hungry, we're looking for something to eat. Or we grab Facebook, we grab our phones, and we start just playing on our phones and mindlessly go into whatever app it is we go to most often. Or you might feel like, oh, I need that glass of wine every night, or whatever it is that you use to distract yourself from your feelings or from whatever thoughts are looping in your head. They're just going to show up in the middle of the night anyway if you avoid them during the day, so you might as well deal with them as they come up. So the next time you catch yourself in the act of trying to numb out to something, regardless of what tool you tend to use or go to in order to numb out, this is something that you can do instead. So I'm going to be using EFT, and I've never been like a huge fan of traditional EFT, where you're basically like, even though I'm really stressed out and I have this problem and I feel this way and I feel this way, I choose to love and accept myself. That seems kind of fluffy to me, and it's not really addressing the issue directly. It may help you feel better in the moment, but I don't feel like it gets you anywhere on a more permanent basis unless you're doing that every 5 minutes. And nobody wants to be doing that. So it's up to you when you do this exercise as to whether you want to actually do the EFT points, which are here, 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 here. You can do under the arm if you want to. I don't really like that one. And here. So you can basically do that in a round. If you don't want to do that and you want to do something a little less complex to start out with, you can just tap here, and then after maybe 10 or 15 times, switch to the other side. And then after a few times of going back and forth between that, you can start tapping on your knees as well, and then just alternating between those 4 things. Totally up to you whether you want to do the regular tapping points or if you want to just do the karate chop points and then tapping on your knees. So I would like for you to close your eyes and imagine that you are really stressed out. You've had a stressful day. Either your boss went off on you or you had a ton to do, and you're just really kind of feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, and you feel like, I deserve a treat. I need to numb out. I need to look at social media. I need to have a drink. I need to have a snack. Whatever it is that you do when you're stressed out to try to make yourself feel better, catch yourself in the act of that. So basically right now I want you to picture that you're in that kind of a situation. And just imagine that you're actually, either picking up your phone to go on Facebook, or you're pouring yourself the drink, or you're pulling a snack out of the cabinet. And really just think about how much you want that thing right now. And give it a rating. Like, how much would you like to have that? When you're feeling that stress, when you're feeling that overwhelm, how much would you like to hop on Facebook and numb out? Or have a drink and numb out? Or have a snack and numb out? So now I want you to actually physically take your hand and push it away. And imagine that you're putting down your phone, you're putting down the drink, you're putting down the snack, and you're putting it out at arm's length. And I want you to actually move your hand like you're pushing it away from yourself. And now begin whichever kind of tapping you want to use today. And then begin to really feel how it feels for you to push that away and know that you're not going to allow yourself to numb out in that way right now. What kind of feelings come up when you recognize in your body and in your mind that you're not going to allow yourself to have that snack or to have that glass of wine or to get on Facebook to distract yourself right now? And let those feelings come up as much as you possibly can. Really get into them. Let that stuff that you've been trying to kind of distract yourself from and numb out from come up to the surface. Really notice how that feels in your body. And keep tapping. And now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to just answer with the very first thing that pops into your head, even if it feels like you're making it up. Just, how old are you right now? As you're feeling these feelings, how old are you? Or rather, how old were you the first time that you felt this way? And I want you to just ride that pain back to that moment. And I want you to step into that version of yourself at whatever age popped into your head, and just be inside that version of you back then. It might be 2 years ago. It might be in your childhood. Just letting yourself really step into that version of yourself at whatever age it was that popped into your head just now. Whatever age that pain or that emotion led you back to. And I want you to try to see the world from that point of view. See through that version of you's eyes what's going on around you at that time. And it may be a very visual memory. It might be just a vague perception of who you're interacting with at that time or what's going on around you. Or it might just be the feelings. It might just be the emotions. So just feel into that. Feel what it feels like to be in that younger version of yourself, wherever that is. Take in what's going on around them. Notice what it is that they need most right now. And then step outside of that version of you. Keep tapping. Step outside that version of you and give that younger version of yourself exactly what it is that they need at that time. What do they need to hear? What do they need to learn or know or recognize? What kind of comfort do they need? Do they need to be held? Do they need to be smacked around a little bit? What do they need? So just, do whatever it is that they need in order to take care of their emotional life and their emotional turmoil in that moment. So you can just give them a hug, give them whatever comfort they need, whatever wisdom they need, whatever realizations that they need. And just really give yourself at that past time the support that you would have loved to have gotten back then. And then notice your divine team is surrounding you, surrounding both of you. And there's this beautiful iridescent ball of light above your heads, and it's showering down on both of you, washing away that angst, those feelings that were coming up, that were leading you to wanting to numb out. Because when you have something like this come up, when you have an emotion come up or a feeling come up that you want to numb out to, even if it's boredom, it's usually because when you were younger, you had something like that come up for you, and you had not actually dealt with it. Maybe your parents couldn't help you figure out what was wrong, or they couldn't solve the problem for you. It could have even been a ridiculous emotion that a lot of toddlers go through. Whatever it is, we at that time were not able to find resolution with those feelings, and we didn't know what to do with them. And since then, we have found that a glass of wine or a snack or getting on Facebook will make us feel better temporarily. And so that's been our go-to. That's been our medication for those feelings. So now recognize that you can actually go in and heal that emotion at its root. So that when you're feeling something that you don't want to be feeling, it's really triggering you because it's something that you've had happen in the past that you didn't know what to do with. But you now know what to do with it. You now know what it is that you need. And so you can basically use this trick to trick your subconscious mind into showing you, where is this coming from? And to actually know how to heal it in the moment as it comes up. So I'd love to hear feedback on this as you guys play with it, but I would suggest over the next week or so, just doing your best to, tap into what comes up, pay attention to when you're trying to go to your addictive tendencies, whatever, you use to numb out. When you find yourself going to that, stop yourself and pay attention to what it is you're feeling in your body. And do this tapping exercise that I just showed you on those feelings and go ahead and resolve them. And the more you do this, the less you're going to need to numb out with whatever that thing is. And then it can be more of a choice as opposed to a compulsion. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I want to thank Brittany Watkins for inspiring this process. She teaches something similar in one of her programs, but I have sort of widened the scope of what it can cover. So, you know, just amazing how we can actually trick our subconscious minds into showing us where something came from, what the root of that issue is, and where we have experienced things like this in the past. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a fantastic day.